Hey everybody, it's Nat from Nat's Numbers, and I have a pretty controversial topic for you guys today. This video is on relationship compatibility. So if you are looking for validation that the person that you're with or the person that you're vying for is your soulmate, this might be the worst video that you ever watch. However, stick with me because if you want to learn how to create a thriving, intimate, passionate, and successful relationship, I'm going to be sharing invaluable information in this video today. So I have been getting, for a very long time, a lot of people asking me one question. And the question is always in regards to compatibility with numerology. So they'll say, am I compatible with my partner or this person that maybe I'm dating? And what I've noticed is that when I dig below the surface and do some coaching, they're never actually asking that question. What they really mean to ask is, can you somehow reassure me or guarantee me that I can bypass the potential for pain, loss, betrayal, disappointment, or hurt? So they're not asking, can I coexist with this person? They're asking, am I going to be destroyed by this? And this is completely understandable because relationships by their very nature are the most frightening and tenuous things that we confront in life next to death. I mean, really, think about it. You know, it's like the most traumatic moments in our lives were catalyzed by a relationship of some kind, whether it was disapproval from a parent or an authority figure, rejection from a love interest, that's such a painful one, or even just abuse from a total stranger. Of course, we would be coming from this vantage point of safety. But I have news for you. If compatibility is the relationship goal that you're seeking, you're going to be sorely disappointed. Compatibility in its direct meaning means coexisting without problems, and that's not going to give you what you want. It's not a essential ingredient in a thriving relationship. There's this amazing relationship counselor named Harville Hendricks, and he says, quote, "The great myth in our culture is that compatibility is the grounds for a relationship. Actually, compatibility is the grounds for boredom." And I think there's a seed of truth to this. I noticed and was perplexed in my practice when I saw that both incompatibility and compatibility could be a source of conflict. So I saw that, you know, compatibility could go from this beautiful restorative comfort between two people to a stagnant and deadening breakdown. Incompatibility could go from this refreshing and luminous progress to a destructive soap opera, spiraling out of control chaos. I also noticed that problems were not something to be afraid of. And so the people and couples that were thriving were people that embraced these problems as packages of potential evolution and growth, not as something to shy away from or avoid. So I think that there is a certain degree of validity in the concept of meshing well, right? So you meet somebody and you could talk for hours and you have the same hobbies and interests and you speak the same language, you might even think the same way. But since when did that become an indicator of success and longevity in relationship? It isn't. You know, there's no stamp of approval from the universe that says, boom, this is the person for you. And I think it's a huge injustice that anybody would claim that they could say that. Right? It's actually really silly and destructive when you think about the ideology that goes underneath this belief. It's this concept that there are certain characters that we need to protect ourselves from, isolate ourselves from, segregate from us. You know, on a world level, this is what causes conflict and war and even genocide, is this concept of the foreigner, the invader, the other that we don't understand. We're not familiar with them. We have yet to learn how to understand their intentions. It's dangerous and it's destructive, and it is not a way to go through life rendezvousing and interacting with people if you want to really access depth and intimacy in relationship. So if it's not about compatibility and it's not about avoiding problems, then what is it about? And archetypal numerology teaches that it's about enriching our lives, right? Archetypes are teaching us that we want to expand our identity. We want to reach a new state of wholeness. There's a great Greek myth that Plato writes about in the Synopsium, and it's about the circle people. And it speaks to this idea of seeking wholeness. So in the beginning, there were these circle people roaming the earth, and they had a face on either side of the circle and then 4 arms and 4 legs. And they were so powerful and so whole and so ambitious that they decided to rotate up into the heavens and attempt to conquer the gods. Now, the gods didn't like this, and so they got together, and Zeus decided, let's throw lightning bolts down and split them in 2. And so when they did this, these circle people were split into man and woman, or in the case of homosexuals, into man and man, woman and woman, so that they would roam the earth and seek and yearn for the other. The Greeks said that this yearning for the other, this amazement that we have for friendship and intimacy and camaraderie could not be accounted for just by the singular desire to have sex. It could only be accounted for by this desire for wholeness, to basically be restored to our original nature. God, I love that. And so I've thought long and hard about this story, and I think the other thing that Zeus was trying to teach the mortals in this story is that there's a danger in wholeness, right? There's a danger in it, because the only place left to go would be the heavens, the metaphysical. And then what's the point of being here, right? So we are here on a treasure hunt to find other aspects of ourselves, and from that place we can access thrilling relationships without the mode of limitation. So what is the first step in being able to access an enriching, deep relationship? How do you know whether you are in a relationship, an archetypal dynamic that's right for you? And so I've really narrowed it down to 2 basic principles, and they're simple, but they are not easy, okay? The first principle is self-awareness. And this is where most of us get it wrong. And this is where I would say 95% of the work is, okay? Because the 1 comes before the 2 when we're counting, right? And there's an incredible wisdom to this. The 2 represents relationship, 2 things coming together, learning how to interact in a harmonious balance. The 1, though, is the only way we can get there. Sandra Barrett, in the book The Secret of Your Cells, is I think what it's called, she talks about how life needs a container. And so we need that sense of autonomy and independence. Without the cell, right, without the boundary of self, life could not exist. There's an awesome quote by Ayn Rand, a Russian-American novelist, and it'll blow your mind. Okay, so here's what she says, quote, "To say I love you, one must first know how to say the I. The meaning of the I is an independent, self-sufficient entity that does not exist for the sake of any other person. A person who exists only for the sake of his loved one is not an independent entity, but a spiritual parasite. The love of a parasite is worth nothing." End quote. Now keep in mind, Ayn Rand was a 1 pathfinder in numerology, so her lesson and her focus and emphasis was on self-sufficiency and independence. But this also illustrates the importance and validity to self-awareness. So it's not easy, okay? Most of us don't even know who we are. Myself included. I've been humbled by my lack of development in this area because we're constantly seeking to please the expectations and shoulds of others. But this is where archetypes come in. So archetypal numerology can teach you what powers and instincts you possess and whether you are tending to your inner hero or your inner villain. This is absolutely essential. So for instance, if you were a 3 spellcaster, you could ask yourself, have I found an outlet for my expression? Or have I gotten in the habit of overwhelming others in my life with the expectation that they need to be my audience? That's the villain, okay? If you were the 8 master manifester, you could ask yourself the question of, am I establishing personal power and influence and authority in my own life? That's the hero. Or might I be involved in power struggles, materialism, and victimhood to try to get what I want from the outside world? That's the villain, okay? This is essential Because when you know your hero potential, you will be able to know and be a witness to those individuals who can supplement and hold the space for the brilliance of who you are. When you are vastly and more in the villain aspect of your being, your relationship radar is wonky and it's off. And you're going to manifest situations into your life that are not necessarily going to really help you reach a state of depth and wholeness in relationship. Okay? So that's sort of the first thing is, what is your hero potential and what is your villain potential? The second aspect is the awareness of the other. And this is kind of common sense, right? So it's like, what are you walking into? Who is your partner? Not who do you think they are or who do you want them to be, but who are they really? And this sort of kind of goes back to, are you aware of the hero and the villainous potential of your partner or your potential partner? Are you aware of all the levels of who they are? An example would be, you might be in a relationship with a one pathfinder and you're thrilled by their independence and by their initiative and their originality, and they're teaching you how to stand out in your own uniqueness, okay? But coming with the pathfinder also comes the masking phase of codependency and clinginess. And it also comes along with the villain phase of egocentricity and selfishness. So do you have the tools necessary to face that? What if you're with a 5 freedom rider and you are titillated by how sensuous they are and how fun and adventurous they are? And it's just never a dull moment. There's so much passion. But are you willing to also face the part of them that is a cautious and afraid, caged prisoner? Or even the villain aspect of them that's the escape artist, okay? So this kind of comprehensive, brave awareness of full spectrum love is required for successful relationships. One of my favorite questions to ask people, and I'm going to ask this to you right now, the person that you are interested in or that you are with, I want you to answer this question. What in this person might you be unprepared to face? Because most of the time, that is what will show up. And that is what you will need to interact with as you deepen in this relationship. Okay? So the key here with both self-awareness and awareness of the other is understanding the amazing brilliance and power that each of you possess, and also understanding the darker, tainted, corrupt aspects of yourself that are ripe with so much power for love and intimacy. Okay? So if you guys want some more videos on, I was thinking maybe how to thrive in a relationship with different numbers, like the Pathfinder or the Peacemaker, that's the number 2, or the 3, the Spellcaster. Comment below and let me know, and maybe I'll start doing that. I think that would be a cool exercise for all of us. So if you have any questions, let me know, comment and rate the video, and I can't wait to see you guys again. Talk to you later. Bye.